Tonight on KGW News, a surprising discovery.
This is extremely unusual. We've never seen this before.
What drug trafficking detectives uncovered at a local motel.
Also tonight, the confrontation that has a Portland City Commissioner swearing off TriMet.
It's unfortunate we got to take these steps right now.
Plus, imagine trying to decide what college to go to without knowing if you can pay for it.
It's a little bit stressful, yeah.
The government error creating delays in financial aid for millions.
Good evening, everyone. Let's get right to breaking news out of Southeast Portland, where police are now investigating a shooting.
Witnesses tell us it happened at the Lariat Lounge, which is off Division near 174th Avenue. Police say one person was hurt and taken to the hospital with serious injuries. They say everyone involved was contacted at the scene and they're not currently searching for any suspects. We'll update you if we learn more.
Well, now to the arrest of an alleged drug dealer connected to the overdose death of a man in Southwest Portland.
Investigators say the suspect was also dealing close to a school. Catherine Cook is in the newsroom with the details.
Blair and David, the suspect is charged with criminally negligent homicide. Police tell us it's the first case indicted in Multnomah County Circuit Court for a death connected to a drug overdose. Tough circumstances, but for investigators, a step forward in their fight against fentanyl. When we think of the fentanyl crisis, our minds may settle on downtown Portland. It's certainly in plain view here, but for police,
this is an epidemic.
One of their latest and maybe most critical fentanyl cases is rooted in Southwest Portland's Hillsdale neighborhood, just feet from Ida B. Wells High School. It was here, police say, Hugo Gomez Soto sold fentanyl to a 29-year-old man back in December. Shortly after that, police say the man who lived in the area died of a drug overdose. Medical examiners found fentanyl in his system. The Portland Police Bureau's Narcotics and Organized Crime Unit took the case. Using cell phone records, they say it appeared the victim had bought fentanyl from Gomez Soto.
So what our investigators did was pose as the victim, and they basically set up a buy with this presumed dealer.
Portland Police spokesman Mike Benner says officers set up the sting in the same spot as Gomez Soto's last alleged drug deal with the victim. Court documents show it was less than 700 feet from the high school.
Mr. Hugo Gomez Soto came to the neighborhood, and he had pills on him. He had baggies of drugs, and he was taken into custody.
After Gomez Soto consented to a search, police say they found 20 pills and 2 1-gram baggies of fentanyl on him. They also found baggies for packaging drugs in his car. Court documents suggest the drugs were similar to those found on the victim when he died. A grand jury indicted Gomez Soto on 10 charges, including criminally negligent homicide.
They have to be accountable.
Cindy Louie lives in the neighborhood. She thinks of the kids and families exposed to the drugs changing hands here, and she thinks of the man who OD'd. According to police, this is the first case indicted in Multnomah County Circuit Court for a death connected to a drug overdose. Cindy is grateful for that.
I would like to have it stopped. I don't like any of the drugs, but this is very deadly and we need to stop it.
According to the DA's office, Gomez Soto is a citizen of Honduras. He had 14 different aliases and had been arrested 5 times for drug-related charges in multiple states. He was even deported back to Honduras after a 2014 arrest, but returned. Police can only hope this case sticks.
Of course, we don't want anyone to die from drug overdoses, but it's good to know that this is now a valuable tool we have to hold people accountable.
In Southwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We'll take a look at what investigators found when they busted some suspected drug traffickers in Tigard. These are 8 55-gallon barrels filled with liquid heroin. Authorities arrested 4 people at a Tigard motel last week. They say we're moving the drugs in a U-Haul. They believe they're connected to a Mexican crime organization. We asked the director of the high-intensity drug trafficking program if heroin in liquid form is something he's seen before.
Not at all. That's why I say this is extremely unusual. We've never seen this before. It's a huge concern. It's something new. We'll continue to monitor it and try and make sense of what it means.
According to court documents, drug trafficking organizations are attempting to increase their profit margins by transporting heroin in liquid form.
Portland City Commissioner Renan Gonzalez says he's taking a break from riding TriMet after an incident with another passenger. He made the announcement on social media this afternoon, tagging TriMet. Gonzalez says on his way to City Hall last Friday, a woman bumped his shoulder and leg, then confronted him about how the city is handling homelessness.
And obviously, I'm an elected official. I'm a public official. Citizens are going to want to engage at times on public policy discussions. That's fine if it's civil, but you never have permission to touch me.
This incident happened just a week after someone intentionally torched a car outside his home. Gonzalez says the combination of those two incidents and some online threats has him working to up his security.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, a Portland podiatrist faces new sex abuse charges after police say 9 women have now reported abuse. Brian Bowen was first charged in 2 cases in December. Since then, 7 additional victims have come forward. Investigators say this abuse happened during exams at the East Side Foot and Ankle office in Northeast Portland between August of 2022 and October of last year.
Clark County Sheriff's deputies busted 5 teenagers for stealing a car and eluding them for 30 hours. This is how it ended, with the tires stripped bare from hitting spike strips. Deputies had been trying to catch the group since Wednesday night after the car was stolen in the Orchards area. They got away several times until the stop early this morning. A 16-year-old driver along with a 17-year-old, 2 14-year-olds and a 13-year-old were all taken to juvenile detention.
And Columbia Sportswear says it plans to lay off between 3 and 5% of its workforce. CEO Tim Boyle made the announcement today during a quarterly call with investors. Boyle painting a tough outlook for 2024 that includes a decline in net sales. He says the company needs to make $75 to $90 million in cuts. Those layoffs, which will primarily impact corporate workers, are expected by the end of March. Developing tonight, millions of families with college-bound teenagers are facing a very disruptive delay. It's because of a glitch in the federal government system that determines financial aid eligibility. Now, this means students might not find out if they can get financial aid until just before they have to commit to colleges. An administrator at the University of Portland says this could have major implications.
One of my biggest concerns is the most economically vulnerable students within our college-going population just choosing not to go to college at all because they don't believe it's affordable.
Well, the Federal Department of Education has told schools they'll get them the needed info by mid-March. The schools then need to send the scholarships offers to families relatively quickly because many have a May 1st deadline to start taking deposits. Not a lot of time. So why is this happening? Well, the Education Department says the system they use to calculate financial aid did not include updated inflation adjustments, so they're fixing that first. In the end, it could mean more money is available to families, but a longer wait for them to find out.
Well, listen to this. You could have some money coming to you from the state of Oregon. Officials are about to send out $10 million in unclaimed property. That may include money owed from banks, insurance companies, employers, or others who couldn't find you. Usually, people have to search the state's database to see if they have unclaimed funds, but a new program aims to proactively return the money. About 25,000 people will get checks, and you can always check to see if you have unclaimed funds by going to unclaimed.oregon.gov.
Looks like your chances there are better than playing the lottery, right? You're watching KGW News. Straight ahead at 11 on this Friday. The Oregon Zoo now asking for your support. The new bond they're asking voters to approve and which animals it could benefit.
And then later, it's another jam-packed edition of Friday Night Hoops. From Wilsonville to Camas, our crews are fanned out to bring you all the high school highlights.
And a lot of highlights in weather the last couple of days with the warm temperatures we've been seeing. We got some nice clearing going on up on Mount Hood with the snowpack there. And in fact, it's going to stay mild through the weekend. Little patchy morning fog. Lower snow levels next week. I'll let you know what that means for the mountains. But for now, here's tonight's ski report.